I'm just looking at the
Hmm.
description. It's a total lie. So anyhow, the Tubi original zombies prepping for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That was the one that I originally set out to watch.
Hmm.
And what I think is funny is this is right here, right on the front of it. This is a 2 hour special that explores how the prediction of the prophet Nostradamus came true and how we must prepare for his most shocking prognostication.
Yeah.
1 hour, 24 minutes. So they're outright lying about the time.
About to be in 2 hours. Yeah.
It's not a 2 hour special. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Unless it was a 2 hour special on TV that they just took, bought, and turned into a Tubi original, which is totally possible because it would be 2 hours with the ads.
Yeah. You know what it sort of reminded me of? It reminded me of so Mel Brooks' son named Max Brooks, who
Yeah,
wrote
yeah, he's
World
doing a
War.
lot of shit though. He's doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who wrote World War Z. He also wrote
yeah,
a book called The Zombie Survival Guide. It was something
yeah.
like that.
Which they made into a movie. They're either making into a movie or have made it the Zombie Survival Guide.
Yeah, and somebody at work gave me a copy of that. I gotta see if I still have it, but it's really cool because it's all like sort of textbook, like military manual on our
Yeah.
survival. But this documentary sort of does the same thing. It's like
Well,
what kind of different zombies are there? What do you need to wear to fight
yeah,
them? Like what kind of environment do you need to be in? You need to group up with other people or be alone, like that kind of stuff, you know.
yeah. But I mean, let's be honest here. What's the Woody Harrelson one? The zombie movie.
Oh, Zombieland.
Zombieland. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but seriously though, Zombieland took this exact same
Yeah. Uh-huh.
theme and did a far better job, right? Where they how to survive the zombie apocalypse, and they kept doing flashing one,
Yeah.
do this, and explored it. And I kind of thought that when I was looking, I was like, I like the idea of zombies. I'm a zombie guy. That if we watch this, that they would kind of, again, when you're talking about zombies prepping for the apocalypse, my thought is we can take a tongue-in-cheek approach to this because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
Not to be originals. We're
Yeah.
taking this, we're taking this as if no, this is seriously how you prep for a zombie apocalypse. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which I mean, I think it's kind of cool to do it like a straightforward sort of thing, but it just came off sort of dull because it seemed like it was kind of a History Channel or a Discovery Channel, like one of their sort of
yeah,
specials that they just kind of took from that.
where they took
And
something that could have been
yeah,
20 minutes and made it 2 hours.
yeah, and
Like
they really padded it out. I had the
they
feeling like
really
really,
padded it out.
really padded it out. This would have been a good like sort of half hour kind of
Could have
thing.
been a good half
Yeah.
hour one as like, I mean, maybe a series of ones that's like taking horror concepts and how you would survive them in real life. Like, hey,
Yeah.
that could be kind of a cool series of shows. I could see 10 of them where it's like it's zombies and then home invasions with sharks and then and like and as you go on, how to actually technically survive those.
How to
The other thing,
survive a shark home? Was it like
how
a
to how
shark
to
slash zombie home invasion? Yeah.
yeah, how would you like what happens if a shark breaks into your house? What do you do? Like, and I need a half hour show to show me how to get out of that. But what I found interesting is the film literally opens by discrediting Nostradamus
Hmm.
and then saying that like, but we better listen to this guy, right? Like,
Well, wait, how did they discredit him? I can't
well, like the
remember.
guy opens up and he's like, look, what people don't know about Nostradamus is that he was literally just a guy who was writing notes for somebody, and he used to put little thoughts on the bottom because he thought they were funny.
Mhm.
And right, like it was basically discrediting that he actually did anything, and then instantly it was like, but anyhow, a lot of his stuff came true. It's like, well, hold on a
Yeah.
second. Like you're saying he basically wrote the Farmer's Almanac and like to put little notes and funny comments.
Yeah, it made it sound like he wrote greeting cards or something.
Yeah, like greeting cards, and then all of a sudden people started taking what he wrote
Yeah.
seriously, and I was like, well, I would have gone just to that he was a prognosticator. Like,
Yeah.
like
That's how every other documentary
yeah,
goes. Yeah.
you didn't start by discrediting him as the guy who came up with the Farmer's Almanac and liked to write jokes,
Mhm.
greeting cards, right? Like it was like I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm like, so you're basically saying he's not a prognosticator. He was writing for Hallmark and decided to put little comments on the bottom, and when a couple of them came true, people started paying attention. Anyhow,
Yeah.
uh, yes, 100%. It was just kind of like I was watching and I was like, okay, it started, and then it just seemed to get repetitive and repetitive
Yeah.
and repetitive. And I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep on the couch. And then when I woke up, I said, I don't need to finish this. But that was kind of how I took. So I mean, there's interesting concepts in there, but I think the idea really should have been a 10 series
Yeah.
of half hour shows taking horror concepts
Yeah.
and exploring how you would survive them in real life.
And see, that's cool. Like that you mentioned that because now it took me a couple times to get through this, but when I was on like my
Oh yeah, I trust
third
you.
installment or whatnot,
Yeah.
they did put in a pretty cool part that sort of hooked me for a little bit. And this I actually dug more than the movie. They were focusing on a couple of these guys, and they had like a YouTube site. It was called Zombie Go Boom or something like that. And what it was is like a mix between Mythbusters and The Walking Dead. So these guys would take. Have you ever seen that? What's that show like? American Warrior or Ninja Warrior or something like that, where not like the game show kind of thing, but there's one where like they take like they'll take like a body, like a fake body, and they'll put it full of things to like simulate organs and brain matter and skull tissue and stuff like that. So when they shoot like this fake like this basically like this dummy loaded up with like blood and like organs inside of it and everything. When they shoot that, they can simulate what would happen in real attacks, like ninja attacks and things like that. So what these guys did is they would make like a mace. They would make like they'd have like a special kind of like a baseball bat that has nails on it, like in Walking Dead, and they would attack these like figures that they made up that had like the blood filled and everything else with them, and they would simulate like how it would affect like somebody's head, or like they'd attack a zombie with like a hammer, and they talk about like which weapons were the best and which weapons jam. Like they have this chainsaw where they were attacking the dummy with, and it got stuck on the chainsaw got stuck on some of the fabric of the dummy. So they're like, chainsaw is a bad weapon because it jams, takes a long time to start, but that was actually pretty cool. These guys were like, here's all the weapons and what you would use to survive a zombie apocalypse, and they test all of them, and that was kind of fun.
Interesting. I did not make it to that part of it, and if I did, I probably would have been interested. So, but
it's sort of like that. Like these guys have a series where they do that, and they just use like different weapons and stuff to attack these dummies with, and they do it in their own backyard, which is hilarious.
So the producers actually didn't even do it themselves. They just stole the footage from somebody else.
Well, they interviewed the guys that do the show, and then like I don't know if the footage in the back of the show was from their YouTube videos. It probably was, aside from just like the interviews there. But I think it would be hilarious to see the neighbors' reaction. These guys attacking these dummies and like this fake blood splattering against them, using chainsaws and all kinds of shit, because they were in their own backyard doing it. It looked like there was their own backyard. It was pretty hilarious.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. That actually now makes me want to go back and finish it. So I think if we had to rank them, I'm like, I might have to actually go back and watch that one now to see the end of it, because that'd be worth seeing.
Yeah, at least watch that part, because that's kind of, they don't make you want to watch the YouTube videos, but that's sort of what it reminded me of. Like these guys have these segments where they do this, and like you were saying, this show would have been like better as like these little 30-minute segments as a series, How to Survive. Yeah, that's sort of the vibe I got from it as well.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go back and watch the end of that then. So there's a positive. Everyone can go check that out.
Yeah. So next week we will.
No, we're off on our own. We're off on our own. Next week we're going to go off on our own. Find something in the ether.
Yeah.
Maybe it's theme oriented. We'll figure it all out. But no, we're getting off Tubi originals. Doesn't mean we have to get off Tubi, but we're getting off Tubi originals.
We will come. Yeah, we'll come back and revisit it once they do their huge blockbuster.
Exactly. Well, no, we'll come back. I'm not done.
If we see anything that they're making that's like more like over the top, and that's kind of the thing, is I just want to see something that's like a little bit less generic coming out of Tubi. Then I'll be all about like the Tubi originals. But so far, unfortunately, just kind of like mediocre.
Exactly. All right. We Tubi, we will be back.
Yeah.
But we need to take a break.
Yeah.